I'm Tom Grossi, a New York City comedian and diehard Green Bay Packers fan for almost 20 years.
It is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. A game ender for the Packers.
In 2015, I created a podcast where each week I talk to fans from opposing teams to share their story and to get yelled at for about an hour for being a Packers fan. Last year, I met amazing people and went to amazing places. And this year, I'm ready to do it all over again.
Make no mistake about it, I will be remembered as a Packer.
Enjoy the show. Packers Nation, Grossi Posse, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Packcast. I am Tom Grossi, your host. This is the podcast where you don't need to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. If you love crippling depression and dumpster fires, this is the team for you. I feel like I'm stuck in a never-ending episode of South Park, where I just have member berries everywhere. And it's just like, remember when the Packers were good? Oh, I remember. If you didn't get that reference, you don't watch South Park. But really, it's not even a dumpster fire anymore. Like, it's that dumpster has been emptied out into the garbage truck. The garbage truck has driven to the dump, dumped the several dumpsters worth of garbage into the dump, and then have set the entire dump ablaze. That is your 2016 Green Bay Packers right now. I am so beyond disappointed in this team. I can't even begin to tell you. And last week after the Colts lost, I ended with some optimism. We talked about the whole firing Mike McCarthy thing, and I think it was too rash, and it's not a very rational decision. And I said that this probably would be the week. We're gonna pick it up. Yeah, hopefully, it'll be a blowout. And I was right at least a little bit. It was a blowout, just not the one that we asked for. I should have been more specific. But the Green Bay Packers lost 47-25 against the Tennessee Titans. The first half, the first quarter especially, the Packers are down 21-0. I think the yardage was like 200 and something yards to 16 yards in favor, of course, of the Tennessee Titans. You have an onside kick to start the game. The Titans recover, and of course you have like a 75-yard run by DeMarco Murray right off the bat for a touchdown, and that's when you knew that this was going to be a long game. This was a game where you switched from beer to whiskey very, very quickly. Like it just there was never a point where I was like, yay! It was just right from the beginning. We were just digging ourselves a hole, and we never got out of it. But yeah, a really brutal, terrible game, and I don't know what this means for the future of our team. And then last week, I said it, we're a knee-jerk reaction kind of fans, and we're in a knee-jerk reaction kind of league in that, we demand results right away, that kind of instant gratification. And this is a tough pill to swallow. This is a tough one to try to explain. Kind of like looking at the stats. Look at Aaron Rodgers' stats. He's 38 for 51, so he throws over 50 passes. Throws for 371 yards, 2 TDs, and 2 interceptions. And one of those interceptions is doesn't count. It's garbage because it was a Hail Mary at the very end of the half. It didn't really mean anything. So he doesn't have a bad stat day. Rodgers did pretty well. We had Starks back, which was a nice thing. Clay Matthews was still out. He had 33 yards. He looked pretty good. Starks didn't look terrible. He also had Rodgers is our number 2 running back this week. He had 27 yards. He had like a 22-yard run or a 20-yard run for a touchdown, which he got popped at the end for a cheap hit. Adams is continuing doing well. Guys, I'm telling you, Adams is having a fantastic season, and a lot of people liked Adams because he stood up for Aaron Rodgers after he got popped in the end zone. He was the first one over there getting in the cornerback's face, and that was cool to see. But 6 for 156. Nelson 12 for 126, 1 TD, one of his best games, if not his best game since he's been back. And you look at it, I mean, the Packers, they put up 25 points, which is respectable. But then you factor in it is against Tennessee's defense, so maybe a little less respectable. They had nothing going. They had literally zero going in that first quarter, and it didn't really pick up. There was some sparks every now and then, and there were some of those passes that Rodgers threw to Jordy, and like those back shoulder grabs, and that's the kind of stuff you wanted to see. But we abandoned the running game right away because we got into such a deficit, and I can't blame them for that. That's why Montgomery really wasn't used at all in this game. But if you have to pin somebody like for this loss, I mean, it's the defense, folks. The defense is bad. They were really bad. And listen, DeMarco Murray is a great running back, absolutely a fantastic running back. And this is not a slight against Mariota, but Mariota went 19 for 26, almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is a disgusting stat line. And Murray is 17 for 123 yards, a rushing TD and a passing TD. Guys, the running back threw a touchdown pass against our defense. That's when you know we got issues. Delaney Walker, spoilers, they threw to him a lot. 9 for 124 yards and a TD. They could not stop throwing to Delaney Walker. Every time they threw a pass, I was like, spoilers, it's going to go to Delaney Walker. And look at that, it went to Delaney Walker. The defense put on such a crappy performance in that I really thought my phone was gonna ring any second and be like, "Hey, Tom, do you wanna come play quarterback? Because I mean, like we really could use anybody in the backfield right now." And I have to say, while I would be terribly out of shape and terrible, I mean, maybe I'd looked good doing it. So, I don't know. I have no positives to pull away from this defense. The running defense, which has been so applauded this entire season, didn't do anything. I mean, they did not play well. And the injuries, again, Clay Matthews out again. And of course we have Randall out, and of course we have Shields out. I mean, it doesn't help. But this team just got carved up. Mariota just destroyed this team in every single facet of the game, and it was pretty pitiful to watch. I'm not gonna lie. And so, I mean, there was rarely a point where they never got within a 1-score game, and what do you do with this? What do you do in that? So for example, go back 2 weeks ago and talk about the Falcons game, right? In that I am extremely optimistic after that because I'm like, okay, look how many injuries we have, and we're still able to keep up with one of the best offenses in the league, and we just lost with the last second, and if we had the ball a little bit longer, yada 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 yada. But this, there is no redeeming qualities from this loss. There's no redeeming qualities from last week's loss either. I mean, it's bad. We're 4-5 now, and scary enough, we are still not out of the playoff picture because it really is just a race to the bottom because the Minnesota Vikings do not want to win this division. The Lions are the only ones who they had a bye this week, so they don't really count. But I mean, the Vikings have dropped 4 straight now. And I think it's one of those things that it's like, you know what? No, you win the division. No, you win the division. The Lions will be like, I'll take it. Please, we need something. The Lions will always take the division. So, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And help is not coming. Help is not on the way. And again, you look and you talk to Packer fans, and again, they're like, fire McCarthy, fire McCarthy, fire McCarthy. And you can't completely blame this on him in that the fact that they weren't ready, they weren't prepared, fine. All on McCarthy, completely throw him under the bus. But if you got rid of McCarthy today, those injuries are still going to be there. Then you're bringing in a new coach and having him attempt to run the team, and in which you essentially have just given up on the season. I mean, yeah, things are bad right now. We're 4-5 and 1 game out of the division lead. I'm not ready to give up on this season, and neither should you. And I have to say, I mean, some of us are being a little spoiled and complaining a whole lot. And again, there's no such thing as being perfect every single game. This is as far from perfect as we could probably get, at least this season, in that there's nothing that good that we can take out of this loss. But what are we going to do? Literally, what are our options here? Okay, you fire McCarthy. You're still left with, okay, now you have to replace the head coach. You're going to go and shake the head coach tree. Good luck on finding one. You're gonna bench someone. People were saying to bench Rodgers. What? Rodgers had a good game. He's 38 for 51 for 371, almost threw 400 yards. Get out of here. And it's just it's asinine the way that we react towards these losses. And not saying I'm not panicking. I am full blown panic mode. I think we've passed panic mode. But there's no indicators that this season is over. There's no indicators that we're going to make the playoffs, but all we can do is watch right now. And I'd be happy to make the playoffs. I don't think anyone would be like, yeah, no, I don't want to make the playoffs. I mean, but there was people talking about playing for draft picks. Guys, we're 4-5. We're 4-5 in one game out of the division. We're not paying for draft picks. Stop. Just stop. So, I mean, the question was asked at the interview, after the post-game interview, are jobs in jeopardy? And it kind of got deflected and say, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about it. We don't care about that talk. I mean, maybe some of you might get your wish. I mean, McCarthy might get fired. I don't think he will, unless they literally lose like every single game the rest of this year. I don't think they're going to fire him. Who knows? Maybe this will be the year that Capers goes. Everyone's been calling for Capers for forever until he does well. But let's take a look real quick at the rest of this season. We have the Washington Redskins Sunday Night Football. That's gonna be a tough game. They just beat the Vikings. I don't see us a favorite in like any game right now because our offense and defense is not playing very well, especially our defense. Then we have the Eagles. That's an incredibly tough game, and again, that's away. We have the Texans at home, which is a winnable game, I hope. The Seahawks at home, which, oh my god, that game is going to be tough. But you know what? I have a feeling, like, mark it down now, we'll play good teams very well, but lose to bad teams, or teams that are, like, not in the playoff race. So I wouldn't be surprised if we played the Seahawks well. I also wouldn't be surprised if we got blown out. Then we have the Bears, then we have the Vikings, and the Lions. So those last 3 games of the season, that's what it might come down to for the NFC North, unless the Lions literally just pull away from the rest of the division, which could happen. Listen, the Lions could take this, and I have to say, if it's anybody besides the Packers, let the Lions take it. Just not the Vikings, because I want them to cry as well. But this is rough. I mean, is it possible to go 11-5? I can't tell you yes. I physically can't do that because I feel like I'd be lying to you. I'd be happy with 10-6. I'd be really, really happy with 10-6 and a loss to the Seahawks. Oh man. I didn't even dress up for this. I put on my Packers hat and was like, here's my fandom. It's sad right now. This is not fun football. And I think it's also a smack in the mouth, though, because we have been very fortunate for a very long time as Packer fans. Very fortunate. And I think what makes us so upset is because we know how much talent is on this team. But imagine feeling this way year after year after year. Imagine being a Cleveland Browns fan. Think about that. We have it pretty good. I think whatever needs to get sorted out will get sorted out. We're not going to let this team just fall into oblivion. And all we can do is watch. That's what I recommend for you. Just watch. Try to enjoy the game. And if not, that's what alcohol is for. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or at Tom Grossi Comedy on Twitter. Check out Packcast, Packast, SoundCloud, iTunes every Tuesday and Thursday. Of course, the Tuesday episode is up on the YouTube. And Thursday, we will have our interview with the Washington Redskins fan, getting ready for the Sunday night game. Listen, we're going to be okay. Somehow, some way, might not be today, might not be tomorrow. Packers are going to be okay. I'll leave you with this. I went and ordered a pizza last night because I wanted to eat my feelings. And I walked into the pizzeria, and this guy, he knows I'm a Packers fan, and he is too. And he didn't watch the game yesterday. And so I was telling him, I said, it's really bad. They got blown out 47-25 against the Titans. He goes, Tom, the Packers are going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And that's what I leave you with. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.